Now, as we went through our templates, you know, when you open up Publisher, this is the screen that we first come to. So we choose, we've got New, and we can choose what template it is that we want to work off. So for example, if we were going to work on a flyer, we could click on Flyer. It would then ask us what type of flyer that we wanted, like which of these particular ones, that we could go a summer event flyer, and double click on it, it will open up for us. So it's given us a publisher document that we're going to work off. Having a look, it's opened up as publication 2 for me, because I happen to have been working on a publication before, so it would have been publication 1. So this is giving me the name of my document, and this is giving me the name of the software program that I'm using, so it's Microsoft Publisher. Across here we have the normal minimize, maximize or restore, and the close button. We have our quick access toolbar, which we can customize when we want. So by clicking on them, adding the tick, it shows which is added to our quick access toolbar. So at the moment opens ticked. If I was to tick on it, that would take it off. So now it's gone. My little folders for opening is gone. If I want it back, I use that little drop down, brings up this toolbar, click on open, and now I've got open back again. We have our ribbon, so that's 2010 now. 2010 version has the ribbon going across, or in Word 2007, but in Publisher we didn't have this before, so 2007, this is new, having the ribbons here. We have our tabs across the top, so the File, Home, Insert, Page Design, Mailings, Review, and View. So the File one, the File tab, that's where we were when we started off with the new, so it gives us all the options, like the Save As, like the old File button did for the drop down. In the toolbars, now back onto our Home tab, we can see our Home tab. This is where you're starting off with most of your information. Your formatting is here, so your fonts and your paragraphs, styles, objects, arrange and editing, they're the groups. On the Home tab, in Insert, we have the Pages group, tables, illustrations, building blocks, text, links, headers and footers. In Page Design, we can see we can change the templates in our template group, our page setup group, layout, pages, our schemes, as in our colours and our fonts, and our background. We have the Mailings tab, which is for mail merge, so we have our Start group, Write and Insert fields, Preview Results, Finish, and Marketing. So a lot of this will look very familiar to you if you've been using Word. Review, we have the proofing, so there's spell check, research, setting our language, making sure that we have our language set to Australian, and our view. So we have our views of normal, master pages, our layout group, our show, anything that's ticked is what's going to show on your page down here, zoom, and windows, depending how you want to sort your windows out. One of the big changes is we don't work off a task pane anymore in Publisher. We have now the navigation, which shows us here, because all of the things on our task pane are now basically in our ribbons and tabs up here. So we have our pages showing here, so we've got page 1 of 1. So if I come in Insert and I was to put another page in, I've inserted a blank page, so now we can see that it's 2 pages. It looks very much like now PowerPoint, how PowerPoint has the different slides and we can see them along the side there. Now Publisher is doing the same. So we can see I've got page 2 of 2. Down here, object position, that's what it's talking about when I'm over in here. So if I was to draw a text box, so I click on text box and draw my text box, it shows me in here what my text box dimensions are. So it starts on 1.6 and 1.2. So that's my corner up here is the 1.6, the 1.2, dragging it down, and that's 2.5 to 2.09. And object size is telling me how much again, and this is in inches. So it's telling me here, if I click on these down here, it will give me my measurements here. So it opens up the little measurements box as well, and it can tell me, so if I wanted to make it horizontal position, if I wanted to move it across, if I wanted to move it down or up, oh, it's running, move it down, going that way, increasing the number, moving it down, increasing the width, increasing or decreasing the height, even the rotation, we can rotate it by using this option here as well. And this has to do with our text within it, so we can go through that later. So that's the tracking and the scaling, text scaling and the kerning, which will be covered in the book, so we'll go through that later. Down here we have the view, so that's a single page view, and we have the 2-page spread, which you can also get from clicking on the view tab up here, and again that's in your layout. But there again, it's just down here if you want to change it without having to click out of the tab that you're in. We have our zoom down here, so we can zoom in or zoom out. Whenever you're working in Publisher and you're drawing something, always make sure that you zoom right in so you can see it nice and clearly. If we click on this now, it will go back to whole page. There's also the F9 option, so if you press F9, it will zoom in and shows you it closer as well. We have our scroll bars, so we can scroll to the right, scroll to the left, scrolling down, scrolling up, go back to whole page, that puts it back in the center for me. So we have our rulers across here, very important having our rulers so we can see where our items are sitting. So we also have our ruler guides, so very important when we're setting up our pages. So we've got our ruler guides. I'm dragging my navigation, which I didn't mean to do, from our ribbon there and drag that across there. So I'm on page 2, so that's why I can't see anything, because it's nice and blank. And my text box is still there, but we couldn't see it. When I clicked off, it doesn't look like it's there. It's because my boundaries haven't been ticked. So if I tick my boundaries now, we'll actually see that my text box is still there. Now another thing we need to have a look at is this area in here, the grey area. That's what we call the scratch area. So my text box, let's fill it in a colour so we can see him. This format, let's go shape fill. I'll just fill him in yellow for now. If I drag him off, it just leaves him there, and I can work on my publication, and then I can just bring him back later and say, yes, I want you here, or no, I'm going to do something else there, so I need you off the page for a bit while I do whatever it is I need to do on my page, and then think, okay, I'll bring you back in again. So it's just a scratch area. You just move your items away from your document just to give you some space to do what you need to do, and then you can move it back in again. Now that's just a brief overview of the Publisher ribbons and tabs that we've got across the top, and just the main difference between Publisher now is having this navigation of the pages going down the side, and we don't have so much of the task pane, except as when we go into our clip art we still do get our navigation, our task pane at the side like you do in Word. So it's looking very similar to Word now, a little bit more like Publisher in some way, so it's getting a combination of the two. Alright, that concludes the presentation on just an overview of the publisher screen.